Hi everyone, it's Dani here, Dani Jimenez from Argentina. You saw me last week on the Ottobock Passion for Paralympics Instagram. I was interviewed by Tyron, a great athlete, and I have literally big shoes to fill. So I'm just waiting for Phelipe Rodriguez, para swimmer from Brazil. He's joining in a sec. And we'll be talking for an hour. Just waiting. Just to everyone here, if you want to leave a question that you want to hear from Phelipe, feel free to just write it in the comment section and I'll ask him during the interview. Hey there.
Hello.
Filippo, how are you?
Sorry, my hair is a little bit messy. I'm alright, thank you. You?
I'm all good. A bit chilly, but good.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so I just wanted to start by introduce yourself so people know. Well, they already know you, I'm pretty sure, but you're pretty different.
Nah, no, you're more famous than I am, so they know you, but not me. Hi,
Nah.
everybody. I'm Felipe Rodriguez. I'm Paralympic swimmer from Brazil. I currently compete at the S10 class. I've been to 3 Paralympic Games. I'm aiming to go towards my 4th one. So yeah. Hi, Tyron.
Hey, Tyron. Okay, so how did you get to your first Paralympics? So your first Paralympics were Beijing, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
How
so
did
how
I
did you,
get there?
yeah, swimming, I
By an
guess.
airplane, flying.
Yeah,
I
you
flew
were
there all
supposed
the
to
way from
tell me
Brazil.
that. I should know better.
Actually, we flew from Brazil to Hong Kong, and then we got a boat to there. So,
Oh, that was easier than what I did. I had like a million
nah, it was funny because before I get to know the power sport, I used to swim with able-bodied swimmers, and I never knew about the power sport world. And in 2008, I got introduced to the power sport, and at my very first competition, it was funny because, believe it or not, I felt at home basically. Even knowing that my disability is very small. I was born with a club foot, on my right foot, and so I felt very comfortable with that environment. And in my very first competition, which was a regional, I already made the qualifying time for the Paralympic Games in Beijing. And
how all the games was that?
I think that was about 6 months before, 5 months before.
So you
So,
went,
like,
yeah, go on.
go on,
Now,
ladies
I was
first.
going to say, you went from not even knowing para sport to 6 months before Beijing, just qualifying to Beijing. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It was in
yeah, yeah,
such
yeah.
time period.
Uh-huh. It was funny because I was literally just following the flow, and I was like, how can I say? I got into the competition, got the qualifying time, but that was it. Like I was like, all right, I still need to train. Let's see what happens. And then I had to go through classification procedures, like functional classification procedures to make sure I was confirmed in that class. So I
Yeah.
had to compete in Germany, an international meet, so I could get like an international classification. And when I went to Berlin, I swam there, but I still didn't get classified there. From Berlin, we went to Czech Republic, and then I got classified there. And when I got classified and I came back to Brazil, I had pretty much my passport stamped to go to to go to Beijing. You know, like I was qualified officially. And then I was pretty much, like I said, just following the flow because by then I had no idea what was happening. I was just traveling all around the world, competing, swimming, and that was it. And I literally just realized that I was at the Paralympics and what was happening when I got my first medal at the games. And I was like, oh, shit is real.
This is real. That's even bigger because you went from not knowing para sports and in 6 months time you went not only in your first Paralympics but you were actually winning your first medal.
Yeah, like I said, I was just there for fun, like following the flow, not knowing what was happening, just enjoying the environment and enjoying my time there. I just remembered going to Mackie D's every day, you know, at the Paralympic village. I can say that I got slightly chubbier, slightly, and
don't worry. I think you're not
and then when I actually got my first medal, I touched the wall and I saw my name in second place. I was like, oh, that's cool, I got a medal, fine. And then when the guy actually put the medal in my neck and I saw the medal, I was like, oh my God, this is big. So this is more than just like a dream, you know, like, so yeah, it was so much fun that, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. And what did you expect, like, before, because when you get to a Paralympic game, or at least when I got to Beijing as well, that was my first game, it was not only so real, but it was so professional. It wasn't something that I was used to. I was just having fun, and I was very young, and you coming from able-bodied swimming, and suddenly, like,
I used to swim nationals, regionals, and that was it. You know.
Do, right?
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, and but it was funny because when I got there, everything was so organized. Everything was so, let's say, perfect. You know, like we had our schedule. Our race would be at this exact time. We had to prepare. We have to be 15 minutes before that. So everything there was like new for me. Like I literally had no idea what was going on. And back then, I didn't used to speak a single word in English other than hi and bye. You know, so I was kind of like lost. Sorry?
A little someone had to come to your life.
Indeed. And then I was like, just like, what's going on? You know, like just following my team, you know, and see what was going on. And then all of a sudden, boom, medal. You know, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything is happening. You know, like it was so different. So it was a shock for me. You know, like all this organization, the Paralympic village, the whole organization. You know, like the logistics that happened in the games. You know, everything was so new for me, and I was literally just there to have fun. You know, first Paralympics, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get here some experience and see how it goes. And what an experience, you know. So.
An experience, right? Well, you do work for it, so you deserve it. From the first medal to the last one in Rio. What is the best part for you of like being in the Paralympics, in a Paralympic game?
The best thing about being Paralympian, I think, is the environment. You know, like it's such a great environment, not just like around the athletes, but around the place that we are having an event or competition. You know, like everybody, we still get that pressure, you know, of like racing against each other and that kind of thing. But at the end, everybody knows each other, everybody's friend with each other, so it's a great environment, you know. Like, for example, I got to know you like back in 2008, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were just a puppy, and
you were
you still
little dude.
I was, and you know, like this whole thing, you know, like the laces we create with not just with the sport itself, but with people all around the world. Yeah, I believe like every single country, we get, for example, you is always trying to, how can I say, try to improve the para sport in your country, bringing all your friends together, you know, like bringing everything towards the para sport. So I think the best thing about being a Paralympian and is be able to embrace that environment and bring to the people, you know, like to share the experiences, share not just the experiences like moments, you know, like what we did, like the laces we created, you know, like for example, 3 of my best friends is from abroad. You are one of them, you know, and without being a Paralympian, I wouldn't be able to have this kind of friendship, you know. So I think that's the best thing about being a Paralympian.
Yeah, of course. I just said of those 3 best friends, I'm the first one, right?
You're one of them,
Look,
yeah.
like this interview just finished now.
That's gonna be embarrassing for you because you have to keep me for an hour.
Well, so you have to say yes, then. Oh, dude.
You're one of them.
You. It's been too long since I last saw you. I miss you. We had the chance to see each other for like half an hour in Italy.
Half an hour, I know. It was so weird. It was like
on how the last time we saw each other, what happened?
we were supposed to be racing in Italy back in March. Was it March?
February.
February. Yeah, there you go. In February, and then I got there. Was like fine, like texted you, and then texted Danny, and was like, "Oh, you're here," and she was like, "Yeah, yeah. Shall we meet up to chat or something like that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And as soon as we get to see each other, she just tells me, "Hey, did you know that the competition that we were supposed to take part just got cancelled?" And we're like, "Why?" Because of the COVID-19. And we're like, oh. So we literally had to do everything to go back to our country next day. And we literally just had like 30 minutes to talk, which we were supposed to talk for like a whole week or something like that, you know, like we're gonna be seeing each other for like a whole week. But unfortunately,
that was
it
my
happens.
first time in Italy. Yeah, I know. That was my first time in Italy. I was so excited.
Was it
And
your
right
first time?
it was my first time. Italy didn't like me very much because I got
She
there and
just saw you, Italy just saw you kick your butt to get out of the country.
exactly. They kicked me out. But like at the very next morning when we were supposed to leave, I said, okay, I'm just gonna have an Italian coffee. And the coffee was burnt. And then I wanted a pizza, and pizza was disgusting. And then I wanted to have a walk by the beach. And I did have a walk by the beach, but the weather was horrible and you couldn't see like 2 meters away from you. So nothing. I just
But to be honest, you picked the wrong day to pick this kind of food because that specific day was when the COVID-19 was exploding in Italy. So everybody was like very, 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 very worried and like not even knowing what was happening. So
it was a weird time. I remember watching on the TV that were closing the borders, and I was desperate, like not to be stuck in Italy forever, and now I'm stuck here forever.
oh well, could always be worse.
I know that's your main phrase. How you been training
I
ever
know.
since? What's been your
Yeah,
life?
I've been well since the quarantine and lockdown. We spent about 5 to 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks in full lockdown here, like training at the house. I was doing some HIIT circuit, you know, high intensity training circuit in my flat here,
Yeah.
and sometimes just going for a run just in front of my building, but not even being able to do anything. But a couple of weeks ago, uh, our coach just found a place not so far from here, like 5 hours away from here. This is where I was this morning, actually. Uh, 5 hours away from here, in the countryside, where they have a 25-meter pool.
Yeah.
And literally nobody was swimming there, nobody was getting into there. So we traveled there, and we've been swimming there since then for the past 6-7 weeks. So we were very lucky that we found this place with nobody coming in and coming out, and we have to maintain everything. We have to pay for the water, the electricity, and this kind of stuff. But at the same time, it was very, very beneficial for ourselves, especially at this situation, where everywhere is closed. I believe every single country is the same. Like in those countries that they open the doors for training, they are taking the right measures to prevent the COVID-19 to be spreaded. So we've been very careful with that. We've been staying in a hotel, like very, very safe. So we've been very lucky to have this opportunity and find this place so we could train, actually, so it's been very good, actually.
Yeah, you are very lucky to be able to train right now. I was talking to Tyron last week, and well, he isn't training either, but like you know me, we talk pretty often. I'm stuck in this apartment forever.
Well, you're very small, and if you get fat, we just need to push you, and you're gonna just roll. It's not gonna be very hard.
But it's too hard.
I know. It is hard. Like at the beginning of the quarantine, and the whole lockdown thing was very, very hard to keep ourselves motivated. I believe not just me, you, every single athlete, because we are so used to like a high intensity routine of training, like being very hectic all the time and training, and all of a sudden not being able to train or do anything, so this was, at the first 3 weeks was okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a hype to do the circuit, and everything here in my flat. But after that, I can say to you, huh?
After the news about the Paralympics being postponed, because we've been in lockdown for a few weeks, and after a couple of weeks, they announced the Paralympics.
They announced, yeah. And I was like, right, so what now? They spent like a week without knowing when was going to be the games and this kind of stuff. And that was the most critical point, I literally wasn't training. I was eating bad food, I was eating so much bad food, so much junk food, and like I felt disgusting. And I actually called my coach and I was talking to him. I was like, look, my nutritionist, I was like, look, I'm not feeling well. Like, seriously, my motivation is on the bottom. Like, it's below the floor already. I have nothing to do. We don't know when we're going to come back. We don't know how it's going to be. So, well, it's really hard to keep ourselves motivated. And they were like, you know what, just take like a couple of weeks off and we'll see how it goes. And then with that, I took like 2-3 weeks off, not doing anything, not following a diet, not exercising at all, just literally watching TV and video game. And all of a sudden, my coach came with this place on the countryside, and he was like, "Do you want to come and do you?" No, before that, he found a pool near me, a 20-meter pool.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Do you want to train there?" I was like, yeah, sure, let's do this. So I was going to bed at 5 a.m. in the morning. 5 a.m. in the morning because I had too much energy, like I wasn't.
You couldn't sleep.
Doing nothing. I couldn't sleep, and when you like, I believe the boys are gonna understand a little bit, but like when you're playing on the computer or the video game, you just lose track of time, and it was just like me, I was completely losing the track of time, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, let's do this. So I was swimming at 7 a.m. to make sure I was going to bed the night before at like at latest 11 o'clock.
To force yourself
And
to have your 8 hours sleep.
exactly, I was forcing myself to try to get back into the routine. And then a week and a half after that, he was like, look, we found a swimming pool in the countryside. It's 5 hours away driving from here, but we're gonna have to pay for everything. Are you up for it? I was like, indeed, let's do this. I get funding for that. You know, that's what funding is for. You know, not just like buying cars, flats, blah blah blah, but like this would be an investment for me. So I've been there for 6 to 7 weeks, and I have no regret with the money that I spent there. You know, and like I just got some great news now. Like this morning, our training center is gonna open the doors on Friday. Is gonna try to open the doors on Friday.
That's
But just
amazing.
yeah, but like it's not gonna open the doors to everybody. Just for the medalists in Rio and the medalists in at the World Championships last year. So pretty much just the elite group.
Yeah.
Even so, they're gonna take the measurements, the measures to keep us safe. We're gonna be tested every single day. You know, not just like temperature tested, but we're gonna actually get our blood collected. You know, do the cotton up in the nose and everything. So we're gonna be tested every single day to make sure everybody in the environment is safe. So yeah, this is really good, great news. You know,
This is great.
so
This is what we do. I mean, when here in Argentina, it's like the lockdown depends on how each province is, and there are a few provinces without cases. So at what point I was like 5 minutes from leaving Buenos Aires and going to a different province where they have no cases and the clubs are like the swimming club, the sports clubs are already opened. And I was like, well, I don't care if I have to pay or I have to pay where I'm going to stay or I don't know, whatever I need to, because this is what I do. And
yep,
I'm
exactly.
going
And
here.
this
So
is exactly what I did. You know, I had to travel like 450 kilometers away. You know, I had to pay for the chlorine at the pool. You know, like we were cleaning the pool and everything, so to keep the pool clean. So,
yeah,
but yeah, you know, like we had to do what we had to do. Like, and I was
exactly.
talking to my coach, and he was like, in the scenario that we had today, this is perfect. So yeah.
Exactly. It's so lucky. You know, I was,
Hmm.
because I talked to my family a lot about feeling a bit just going crazy inside my house all day, and not being able to train. And one of my brothers said the other day to me, well, at least you're getting paid. And I was like, well, I don't care, because that's just like, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, it's, I have a roof over my head and I have food in the fridge, but I mean, I need to train. I don't, it's not what it's important. I would do everything you're doing and I would spend all this money into just being able to train again. I don't mind. I just
Yeah.
need to be able to train. It's just
Exactly.
that not
Yeah, and
about the
like,
money.
and I was talking to my family as well before I decided to go there, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be very expensive." I was like, "Yeah, but that's what I get funding for, you know."
Yeah,
So, like my sponsors, you know, my sponsors, they pay me for that. They pay me for like people that, like, for me to train and bring their name up, you know. And like I have no idea how is my opponent, you know, like if they're training or not. So I just gotta do what I can. That's
exactly,
all,
exactly.
you know.
Well, I know pretty
But
much
yeah,
all of my rivals are already training, but I can't focus on that because I can't train right now. So I just have to focus on what I can do, and that's it. Um, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get in Argentina. We'll get, because in Argentina they allow the Olympians to train, but not the Paralympians. So apparently, they're gonna make it work this week. So we'll see what happens. But well, speaking of, uh, there's there was one big news that I found it was amazing this year, and I wanted to see what you think of. In the USA, they just celebrated their first Olympic and Paralympic day, like as one. what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think it's great, especially because like I was talking to someone now, like there are many Paralympic athletes celebrating the Olympic Day, you know, which I find, that's me personally. I might be criticized by that, you know, but like I don't want to get into too much, but like they celebrate the Olympics, not the
Yeah,
Paralympics, and the Paralympics have a specific day as well. So I don't know why the Paralympians are celebrating the Olympic Day. That's
yeah,
fine. A couple of my friends, they are like big names in my country. They're not celebrating the Olympic Day, but celebrating his or her friend, their friends that are Olympians. You
yeah.
know, like congratulating those Olympians. And like what the USA did was just great because it's bringing the equality to everybody. You know, like bringing, not separating, not making two different words, you know, like two different dates, but like when you talk about Paralympics, in Olympics, it only brings one thing, only brings, you only remember one thing, you know, like it's the biggest event in the world,
Yeah.
and that's it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a Paralympics or Olympics. So I think it's a great initiative from the US to
Yeah.
bring those two dates together, and yeah, I
I think
cannot
it
wait
keeps
for the world embrace
open
it.
and maybe opening like other countries or committees, like national committees, they're opening their minds and their eyes towards like just one world, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, exactly.
so
Yeah, like this the Olympic phrase they say, one dream, one word. You know,
mhm,
we're disabled. We're not gonna compete equally with the able bodies, but we still have one dream, and we're still in the
exactly
same world.
it's
You
exactly the
know.
same. That one is the
Uh,
same. That's what
uh-huh.
it means. Do you think, because
Exactly.
I think that in Brazil, the Paralympic Committee does a great job with the para sports and how the exposure you guys have and funding you guys have and how they treat you guys. But have you ever felt like that inequality?
I'll tell you what. I've been in the power sport in my country since 2008,
Yeah.
and one thing I can say to you with all my knowledge is that uh, the Brazilian Paralympic Committee is doing a great job in the past, I don't know, 12 years. It's been
Yeah.
great. See the improvement they had back in 2008 and what we have now. I do speak with, I'm friends with lots of able-bodied Olympic swimmers in Brazil,
Yeah.
and we do compare the kind of funding and sponsorships, you know, and like the big 95% of them have been to the Olympics, but they have less funding and less sponsor than us.
Really?
So yeah, so the Brazilian Paralympic Committee is doing a great job.
Yeah.
You know, like not just with funding because they are always on track. We have many different kind of fundings from school to Olympians. You know, we've had funding for school games, we have funding for university games, we have funding for nationals, we have funding for international competition, Paralympics competitions, you know, and we have the highest funding so far, which is those ones that got the medal at the games. So
Yeah.
we have right there 6 different kind of fundings that, thanks to the Paralympic Brazilian Committee, uh, the national government, they came up with that investment. And not
Yeah.
just that, like uh, some companies in Brazil, private companies as well, they are starting to embracing the power sport in Brazil, and we are actually getting more visibility and
Yeah.
more sponsorship. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. That is amazing because that just gives everyone else, like, because you tease me a lot like me being famous and all, which is not true, But I mean, it many of you guys, you included, so shut up, are famous, are suddenly like these sports celebrities in Brazil, and you are respected for it. Sometimes I get with the looks that I have here every time I say that that I'm a Paralympian and that I'm a professional athlete. It's like, really, you? And even from other athletes, it's very hard to get their respect because para sports here are not.
Uh,
It's not
I
very.
think what really helped. I think what really helped in here was the fact that we had the Rio 2016 games.
Yeah.
I think that was a big step forward to the para sport in our country, like a big step forward. Uh, to you guys watching us realize, like I think it was at the fifth day. At the fifth day of the Paralympics, we had already more people in the at the Olympic Park. We had
Yeah.
more people in the Olympic Park as spectators than the whole Olympic Games duration. So on the
Really, I
fifth
didn't know
day, on
that
the
number.
fifth day, on the fifth day of Paralympic Games, we had more people circulating the Olympic Park than the whole duration of the Olympic Games. So yeah,
Wow, that
exactly.
is
So this was
incredible.
a big step forward. We made a great marketing advertisement,
Yeah.
like of the Paralympic Games.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it was great. It was great in every single way, and that really helped. That really helped, like the para sport to kick off the way it is right now.
Yeah. To just show the people what the Paralympics is about. And I feel like,
Yeah,
I think for what I heard, because we live it from the inside, but what I heard from my family and my friends and well, um, Laurida, my gym coach, who went and to
yeah,
see the games, she wasn't inside the team, and they keep bringing this up that just the environment is so empowering and so
exactly.
inspiring that everyone just wants to feel part of that. And they also all said that, well, I'm an athlete, of course, my family knows me, but they also said that when they run into other athletes, it's like para athletes are a bit warmer than Olympians,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It feels
they
like,
make
yeah,
them feel as a part of it.
yeah. It feels like, and I don't know. You might have felt it that, like, but like in the last, every single evening, every single finals, it was like sold out. I had to buy tickets for my parents within like 7 months in advance.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know, even so, I tried to get some more tickets for them. I couldn't get it. You know, like during
Ew,
the competition, and like it was funny because I got goosebumps every time I remember that moment. Like when I was just about to see my last event in Rio, like the whole crowd, the whole building, the whole stadium there, it felt like the roof was gonna fall down, you
I
know.
was, dude, I
So
was right next to your mom and dad. I remember.
it
I
felt
was
like the
shaking.
roof was gonna come down.
No,
And
I know.
it was just great. It was just a great environment here. So
Yeah.
I
And
can't forget that moment.
I remember, like, because I felt it like like just an spectator, because I went to watch the race with your mom and dad, and suddenly, like, because it's not the same where you're in the athletes stands and you're
Yeah,
just watching with your friends. It's like it's kind of like you, okay, this is normal. But then when you are with the actual crowd, it's just so, I
it's
get hot
crazy.
under
It's
the skin
crazy, isn't
about
it?
it. It's just, I
It's
was
crazy,
shaking.
isn't it?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And
Yeah.
besides, I was right next to your parents, so I was feeling even more because I was looking at your mom and dad just crying, and I was crying and saying, crazy.
Yeah, it was just great environment. Like this is what Paralympics are about, like being warm with people, bringing like good memories for and experience for everybody, you know, and like living the moment.
Exactly. That is very, very true. So, besides swimming, do you do any other sports?
Uh, just
I
asleep.
don't lie. I know you do. I just wanted you to tell people how you dump me every time we go to the beach to just
I don't.
sail
It's
around.
not a.
Sail away.
It's not a. It's my hobbies. I have a hobby. Yeah. I like to surf, kite surfing, and windsurfing. So yeah, that's what I like to do the most
Thing
when
with
I'm yeah. I
oh,
love windsurfing.
Gonza is being so cute. He said it's so nice to swim in the same heat as Felipe.
Yeah. One day when I'm like very soon, he's gonna kick me. Very, very soon. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
So, so
uh,
you like to do any sports with surf in it, with the word surf in it?
kind of. Like I'm a wild person, you know. Like I just like to try different things, and I literally just try everything. I like paintballing. I like kayaking. You know, I just like to be exercising. You know,
Yeah,
I
you're
just like
very
to actually. Hmm. And
yeah.
like I'm very fortunate that my holiday home is just by the sea, and like when the waves are good, and there is no wind, I just go surfing. When there is no wave but the wind is good, I go windsurfing or kite surfing. You know, so I'm very lucky and very fortunate. And when there is no wind and no wave, I just go stand up paddle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Anything,
very lucky
any
though.
weather is good.
Yeah, any weather is good, pretty much, you know. And I just love to be inactive.
I know.
Seriously, slacklining, mostly known as tight roping. Uh, yeah, I just like to do a little bit of everything.
That's cool. Well, to everyone watching, Felipe and I had a few holidays together, and so he actually tried to teach me some of this stuff. Well, stand-up paddling is easy. I have a few pictures of me uh, with you, like sitting in the front of the board.
Stand
In
up paddling, yeah, I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah, I do. And then Felipe tried to teach me. I was telling Tyron the other day about this. You tried to teach me about it, like windsurfing and surfing, and you weren't patient enough. Your
I
patience
wasn't patient enough
ran
and I
out.
was too distracted. But yeah,
Just my first surfing session, it was like, okay, go off. I need to go surfing in the sunset. And I was just watching on the beach. But
next time I promise I'll try to. I promise I'll try to teach you with more patience.
please, thank you. Well, Tyron said that you're better off just teaching him.
Oh no no! Well, I'll teach him how to kite surf. I'll teach him how to kite surf. He lives in the best kite surfing spot in South Africa, so yeah, why not?
We should do like where we should go to our next holidays. Do you think we should go to South Africa? To Tyron?
Well, we were talking about that. Yeah, we were talking about that. Remember?
We actually
Well,
didn't.
after our failed attempt of holidays in Mexico back in 2017. Oh,
Ever since then, we didn't do any holidays.
nope, we didn't.
That's sad.
I know. Oh well, we need to plan.
Yeah.
We need to recruit. We need to recruit the gang.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we had a few accidents, didn't we? Because this year was the COVID-19 in Italy, and then in 2017, our
Was
holidays
the earthquake?
because an earthquake.
Because an earthquake, yeah. So yeah, he was unfortunate, but could be worse. It could always be worse.
It can always be worse. What was your worst like the hardest race you ever raced? Like the hardest it got?
What do you mean with harder?
I don't know, whatever you feel like. What was the most, the one you struggled the most? Even if it was like, I don't know, because you were sick or because you were anxious or because
I think it was because I think it was the 100 meters freestyle back in London 2012. Yeah, that was the hardest one I had because back in 2012 I went to the games knowing that I was going to swim 5 events, being 53, 100, 300 flying 2 relays.
that's a lot.
And my very first event, which was my main event, the 50 freestyle, I messed it up, and then I got fourth place. So I had in my head, wow, that was great. First meet, the first race, my main event, I already swam really bad. So what's gonna be up the next ones? Because I was pretty much training for that one, you know. So I had to do 2 more events before the 100 freestyle, and in the previous game I was second in the 50 freestyle and second in the 100 freestyle. I knew the gold medal on the 100 freestyle was going to be really hard, and I also knew that silver and the bronze medal was going to be really hard because the same people that beat me in the 50 freestyle was going to be there.
Yeah.
So I was like feeling so much pressure, like so much. I was so nervous that moment. I felt like I had like a 40 floors building in my back, you know, and I literally had no idea because I was feeling too much pressure also from my sponsors. You know, I had to come back home with a medal at least because of my sponsors. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able. Back in that time, I wasn't really happy as well with my swimming, with my coach, and with everything that was happening. You know, so I think that was the hardest moment and hardest race that I had my entire career because everything like that. I spent the whole year before the games just arguing with my coach, just fighting with him, you know, like saying that I was gonna leave him, blah 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 blah. So we wasn't really into each other, you know, like we weren't having that synergy, you know, that an athlete needs to have with the coach. So and I was feeling very nervous, and I was actually thinking to stop swimming after that. And if everything went wrong, but luckily, unfortunately, I got the silver medal, and I just felt all of that, you know, all of that going by, because it was funny. When I was swimming the 100 freestyle, I did the first split on the 53, and I started to do the underwater kick. I saw like 5 people in front of me, so I split it in 6, and I was like, oh, you know, uh, I was like, oh man, yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, let's do this. The race only finishes when I touch the wall, so let's do this. So I didn't look to the sides anymore, you know, just put my head down and start to spin my arms. And when I touched the wall and I saw my name in second, I felt such a big relief, you know, and I was like, oh my God, finally I got a medal, you know. So I think that was the hardest race because everything that happened in that competition itself and the things were happening with me, like during the year with sponsors, with my coach, you know, and I wasn't really enjoying swimming. And after that, I was actually started to work with my psychologist, and everything changed. So
I was about to ask you that if you were already working with a psychologist or not at that time.
I was working with a psychologist, but I felt that like it wasn't like a sports psychologist, you know. It was more like a back-to-back conversation. What was going on and what was bad? How can I try to sort it in my life, you know? So it wasn't like a sports psychologist is like scenario that I have today since 2013, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's so important to have the right support, because it's weird how that outcome, that silver medal, that you did it with your own head and heart, because you were prepared to do it. You were prepared for the 53, but there was so much going on around you that
yeah,
made you question everything, made you question your swimming career, made you question, well, everything that you
yeah,
were doing. Um, and it's so, I sometimes I think that it happens to a lot of athletes, that very same thing, that you just get stuck in one
exactly.
moment of your career and you just can't figure your way out, and end up just leaving sports, or just feeling crappy and not enjoying what you're doing. What we do is pretty great.
Exactly, and like I always say when I do my swimming clinics and talks, for people, like training is the hardest bit. When you get
Yeah,
into a swimming competition, the only thing you can do is put what you trained into test
yeah,
and enjoy the moment.
exactly.
Because if you like if people that like for those who know me and Danny, they know how we are. But like for you guys that never seen us in a swimming competition, like 30 minutes before my main event, I might be with her just like teasing her around and like joking around the pool.
Yeah,
Like we're always playing with each other. We're always like making fun of everything, and actually living that moment and enjoying that moment, which is I think in the swimming competition is the key. Of course, you can't forget what you're there for, but also you need
do
to
everything you have
embrace.
to do. Because I
Uh-huh.
I know that we're pretty similar. We have our routine, that the competition day, and that no one can mess it up. We do whatever we need to do, and we do it every step of the way. But in the
Yeah,
meanwhile, we just relax, because there's not much more you can do at that point.
indeed,
Just race
indeed,
and enjoy it. Someone asked
exactly.
a question, and they said, when you swim, how much do you check and look on your rivals in the pool?
Uh, when I swim, normally that depends on the 50 freestyle. Just on the, let's say, before I get up in the start block.
And that's it. You don't
That's
have much
it.
time to do it.
I don't have much time to do that. As soon as we dive in, we have to look down, and then
But
literally just
later,
go straight down. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't even take a breath, on the 50 freestyle. So I don't really lose too much time looking to the sides on the 50 freestyle. But on a 100 freestyle, we normally see what's going on after the turn, and sometimes when we take a breath. So in my case, I always take a breath to the left side. So the first 50, I'm always watching the people on my left, and on the way back,
Yeah.
I don't normally, I kind of like do a check underwater, whereas the people on my old left, né, which is my
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
and just to see where they at. And then I just keep track on the people on the left, on my new left side. So yeah, and my breaths are like normally 6 strokes to 1 breath on the 100 freestyle, and the
Yeah.
last 10 meters I just don't take a breath at all. That's it.
So hard, that race.
Yeah, hmm
But
it is
it's
hard.
not like you're looking, because that's the thing with swimming. There's absolutely nothing that you can do to make other people go slower, or the other
Yeah,
way around. There's nothing anyone can do to make you go slower. So it's kind of like you need that rival next to you, going like right there with you to make you go even faster.
yep,
That's
indeed.
why that's why you're checking on people. If you do, you're not doing it all the time. You're just doing it
No, we don't do
for
it
you.
all the time, especially if you like if you swing the other person's race, it might mess it up your whole strategy.
Exactly.
Because some of them, I normally go out in the first 50 and go like my backhand is slightly slower, you know, but like some of them go slow on the first 50 and then fast in the second 50. So if I try to do this kind of strategy, try to follow them and try to be confident that they are doing the same thing as I am, I might get mess around my whole race.
Yeah, you're gonna die by a few meters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start to fish on the bottom of the pool.
Been there. Okay, we're gonna do a little kind of like a ping pong of question and answer.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your
It
favorite?
sounds right. Does it need a black tag?
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
All right. All right, carry on.
Okay, blue or green?
Blue.
Next holidays, location.
Home.
Tyron or Danny?
Danny. I'd rather have a little girl next to me than a big dude next to me.
Oh, he's huge, but he's so sweet.
Sorry, Darren. You're still in my heart.
Favorite food?
Sorry, favorite food? Chinese. Oh, Japanese food.
Sushi, yeah.
Yeah.
Best competition ever?
Rio 2016.
Yay. Best after party?
Portugal 2016.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one. That was good. That was good.
That was a very, very good answer. Oh, Tyrone says I'm hurt.
No, don't feel hurt. You still have a special place in my heart, Tyron.
And in mine. The three of us, the three of us combined are stronger.
Indeed.
Okay. One last thing before just finishing it, because we have, I don't know how long. Oh, we have a few minutes. But it's just like the same question. I'm pretty sure you already answered before, but I think the audience now is very
different,
yeah. Sometimes it can sound a bit cheesy, but there's a lot of people with disabilities that are at home thinking that they're not able, because that's pretty much what the word says. We are disabled and they're not able to do many stuff, and including sports. So you coming from well, your background is just you always did whatever you wanted to do, and your disability never stopped you. What would you say to those people who are feeling it?
Those people that are already in that place, I think they should actually step up. You know, step up. Even if you're in a wheelchair or something like that. But like, you have to actually move. You know, because I think it's not just here, but like everywhere in the country. I think the family of these people are super protective, and sometimes they're protecting them too much, to the fact protect them to the real life. So they're like restricting them to try new things, afraid they just fall. You know, like some bad experience. You know, like, which is what a normal person does, you know. Like a normal person try to get a job, they get denied, and then move up, get a new job, try to get a new job, you know. And I think the sport is the greatest way of like a disabled person actually start to get the confidence back, and try to improve their lifestyle. You know, like to try to lose that shyness, like that kind of shy that person has.
Yeah.
You know, and like actually to get involved with the society, and literally just like start to live a life. So I think like whatever is your disability, just try to do something new every single day. See what you feel more comfortable with. Try to put some challenges in your life. If you're not doing sports, if you want to be, for example, an important person in a IT industry, you know, like stocks industry, I don't know, like just set yourself some small goals at the beginning, and then as soon as you get like familiar with that kind of goal, you need to start to do with bigger goals and with long-term goals. And I think, and from like, I think you just gotta try like new things every day, and that's it. You know, I could literally just speak a lot about that, but if you try new things every single day, you're gonna be surprised with what you can learn with those experience. And in the future, not in the long future, but in a short future, you can see the difference that made in your life. You know, so
Yeah, I think sports are like such a great way to achieve that, because it's you're every day you're pushing your own
yourself to the limit. Yeah,
limits to just get better and better and better, and then you realize that there's not much you can't do. So
exactly.
that is amazing advice. Just go out and live a life.
Indeed, you know, like you can try it. Sports is the perfect key for you to be a person, like a social person. You know, I used to be very shy, and look at me now,
I know. I've seen
flipping
you.
neck.
It's crazy. It is
And
crazy.
so yeah, like back in the days, I didn't used to speak with a girl, and look at me now being interviewed by one, and
Yeah, you were
and
pretty shy with me at the beginning when we started being friends. And look at us
indeed,
now.
very true.
You,
See,
you tease me all the time. You don't feel awkward at all. Every time you put your
me,
finger in my ear hole.
you're my brother from
I know.
another mother.
I know.
Yeah, so yeah, we've been knowing each other for too long.
I know. There's too much. We
Indeed.
know each other too much. So it's like I always say that you are like myself in a man.
In the main
You're
body.
just
Yeah.
my version of Danny.
Oh dear.
And you
I
you
feel
already
sorry
know
for you.
I did that the face swap up that I look very
I
much.
know that looked so weird. I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Oh, that was hilarious.
That
Well,
was so funny though.
we have a minute left, so I just wanted to thank you because, well, you know you are my bestie, but thank you so much. It's an honor. I admire you so much. Besides being my friend, I admire you as a person, as an athlete. I love you a lot, and I want to thank you very much to saying yes to interviewing me and not being afraid of what I was going to ask.
I
And
wasn't interviewing you. You interviewed me.
I interviewed you, sorry. And well, next week you'll have to interview someone else.
Oh
So
dear, that's gonna be awkward.
that's Ellen saying, I love seeing you guys. Ellen
Love
got a new
seeing you
place. She has to
too.
go to Dublin too.
Oh yeah, true that, indeed. Well, I've been saying to her that I need to go to Dublin, but never had time. I had the chance, but something happened and I didn't want that.
Yeah. Well,
It could be
all
worse.
right, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Such an honor being here with Ottobock and Paralympics and with you, Danny. Thank you very much for everybody here, and I hope to see you next time.
Yay! Hopefully not very far
Not
away.
long, not long.
Not long from
Not
now.
October. Not October.
October.
October
Alright,
is the
thank you.
main. October is the target.
That's the light at the end of my tunnel. I already told you.
Okay, all right.
All right. Bye, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you very much for being here. And Felipe, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.